January 9th, 1793, Jean-Pierre Blanchard becomes the first person to fly in a balloon in the United States. Welcome to Revisionists. I'm Brian Flynn.
I'm Zach Powers.
I'm Tim Messenger.
Thank you for joining us, Tim. You're a local comic. You're about to relocate to London, so I'm very glad to get you on before you leave.
Thanks for having me.
So we've been away for a little bit. I've been out of town, and then I was very sick and unable to talk. But we're back now.
So it's Brian's fault?
Yes.
Entirely?
It's the fault of my
100%.
tonsils, which are a part of me.
I was waiting by the phone every night.
By the phone. Which is weird, because I usually get a hold of you over the computer, so it's not the place to wait.
May have
you might
also
as well
been
have
part
been
of the
waiting by
problem.
the Pony Express box.
You were good to go a week ago, but I was wrong medium. I was waiting for.
Exactly. Well, what we do on the show is every week we talk about episode. We talk about a different topic from history. One host presents a true story. One host comes up with an alternate history, and then the winning story becomes accepted history.
Yeah.
Going forward.
The third person just kind of sits on their ass and does nothing.
And comments.
Yeah.
Really, originally, the concept was we tell the tale to please the third person. Like Scheherazade almost, but then it's sort of just...
Great magic card.
Was that a magic card?
Charizard.
Charizard.
I'm get a holographic
Charizard. A holographic Scheherazade.
Yeah.
It keeps you from getting beaten up on the playground.
Yeah. I hear a word that I like. I got to jump in. I'm like, come on, guys, let's get in.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
It's 2 whites, source free.
So I'm presenting the real history this time. We're talking about King Tut, Tutankhamun, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, you're presenting the alternate.
Sure.
So
I heard, yeah.
If everyone's ready, I'll begin.
Go. Alternate to the false story, I guess.
King Tut was the son of the pharaoh Akhenaten, and perhaps one of Akhenaten's sisters or cousins, but definitely one of those. It's not one of Akhenaten's known wives. All of the texts refer to his mother as just the younger lady. That's the only...
He's one of the wives he kept under wraps.
As...
You know, not too proud of that wife. When company comes over, Jane, she's doing really well with her, knitting business, which you don't talk about.
I think it was more like the younger lady, meaning like, this probably wasn't acceptable.
Even in ancient Egypt.
This is like...
Where we don't have evidence for this, but the standards are probably very low.
The gods blessed him with an early ability for this woman to give birth. I think that's her younger lady.
When you bring up the gods, Akhenaten... What he's most famous for is he tried to institute a monotheistic religion in Egypt. And basically over the course of time, he outlawed the worship of the old gods and focused on the worship of Aten, which is basically Ra, the sun god. And also a lot of the...
Ra just had a name change for a while.
Yeah, basically.
During, like, his punk phase.
Was that a punk thing?
I don't know.
I guess Sid Vicious probably wasn't his given name.
Could have been.
Or Johnny Rotten.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't think those Ramones were related, actually.
No, probably not. Right? Who's named Ramon?
The Ramones.
Good point.
That's true. It's a family band.
Yeah.
It's like the Partridge Family.
Uh-huh. Or the Osmonds.
So there was a lot of controversy around this, obviously, because when someone's like, hey, don't worship your gods anymore, worship this god who all the statues look kind of like me, also, that can tend to rub people the wrong way. And when Akhenaten dies...
that's what Scientology's got going for it,
I don't know if they actually probably do somewhat deify L. Ron Hubbard.
Yo, somewhat. You think? You think maybe they consider L. Ron Hubbard a bit of a sacred figure?
I mean, do they consider...
Hot takes from Brian on Scientology over here.
But his statue is in the form of a book. It's in the homes of every individual.
It's like a statue in your mind.
It's a statue in your mind. What's that mean?
All right, this is... I'm going to drop this again, and someone's going to make money on this, and then I'm going to have, documented evidence that I said it here first. But new app, you, have, virtual trophies. It's like a pay-for app where you can then give people trophies and it costs more money for different kinds of trophies and stuff like that.
So you can...
I think it's a horseshit, but I know that this would make real money.
This is what went wrong when you were on Shark Tank, Tim.
You just keep shitting on your own ideas.
Like the pet rock, is that a great idea? No, but it like makes money, right? That's the idea.
Yeah, but the guy who sold it was like, "This is a terrible idea. Please give me money."
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm letting you guys know on the inside.
It's a pet
but,
rock.
like,
You have to be an idiot
like
to buy
I'm just
this.
saying, like, I don't see.
You want to get on the ground level of this idea. First off, it's complete shit.
I don't
It's all
see.
ground level.
I don't
It's no higher
see.
level.
I don't see any value.
It's ground level
to
because it's shit on the ground where it belongs.
fake trophies.
So you'd like text your boss a world's greatest boss trophy off of this app
Yeah.
instead of buying like a fucking mug like a chump.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, the mug is kind of like a trophy in a way.
It's stuff for stupid people to buy because they're stupid. And,
There's different kinds of trophies. One of the trophies could be a mug trophy.
I think this idea is just like less stupid than like all the other apps that people waste their money on.
I mean,
that is true.
At least they have some kind of something to show for it.
But there's like, yeah, that's the
But
whole point. But the idea is also like that you can have this virtual representation of something that like why
Another human being's appreciation on
like
your,
if you move
virtually represented on your phone.
if you if you were moving and you had to like take all these trophies with you, you know, it's kind of a pain in the ass.
Jared thinks
When is that a problem? When does that come up?
My dad had so many fucking racing trophies that he had like a whole like shed full, and he had to throw so many away, and he only kept the ones that mattered.
Yeah.
And now he throws the trophies away, but he just keeps like the plaque.
and now when your dad's like, I had so many trophies, you're like, you're full of shit, Dad. Show me some proof. But when we're old, it'll be like, one time Jared gave me chillest dude right here.
But I used to also have one of those trophies. I saw a shed full of trophies, and you know, so yeah, I think virtual trophies is a great idea, and it makes the participation.
Full of stolen
It makes the
trophies.
participation trophy easier to swallow for fucking people that don't agree with the participation trophies.
It does devalue the participation trophy.
Yeah, it's an oversaturated market as it is. But,
I'm just an accountant. I see all these people wasting good money on like shitty participation trophies when they could make a digital trophy and
That's,
say
that's what's wrecking China right
the
now.
cost savings that you could get in a virtual participation trophy. I'm bringing 90% savings to this industry.
one of these days, this trophy bubble is gonna pop when people stop buying these participation trophies.
A roller coaster
I think-
that's only going up.
Wait till The Big Short 2 comes out, and it's about the trophy bubble. The big trophy crash of 2016.
Why did we invest in this? We're like the Dutch.
Just think, you could design your own trophies. You could.
You could do that now.
What are you gonna like learn how to like use a saw? Who has saws? Everyone has a phone. You have virtual tools.
Sauce.
It's true, yeah. We don't use sauce anymore. It's the future.
I'm saying,
Sauce have been outlawed.
is there a saw in this home right now?
There is not.
So my point is, and that's like the simplest of. I was using that as the easiest example versus like how you gonna like melt the metal down and then mold it into the shape of whatever trophy that you think.
I mean, more importantly, how can you call it a home without a saw? How are you going to defend your family?
No, yeah. Or set up death traps. What kind of trophies would Tutankhamun win, Brian?
Well, he may have gotten something because he ascended to the throne at age 9 or 10. Because he was just a kid, most of the decisions were made by his advisors, and he had two in particular that were the most powerful. Horemheb
Yeah.
and just A.
He's
Very
like
Fonzie.
the Fonz, yeah. Basically,
Yeah,
the Fonz was referencing that guy every time he said it.
And
The
Hammerhead?
first Fonz, like Fonz Prime.
What was that other dude's name?
Horemheb.
That guy's a nerd.
He's the Ron Howard to,
Yeah, absolutely.
to A's Fonzie.
A tried to make him cool, never worked.
Horemheb is interesting because he, much like Wu Zetian did when her son was sort of the puppet on the throne, he just told other people that Tutankhamun named him Lord of the Land and heir to the throne, and that he also told people he was the only one who could calm Tutankhamun down when he was having a fit.
Surprisingly successful strategy.
For just being like, oh yeah, he said I was the next king, so whatever.
I wonder if I could just like start telling people that Obama said I'm Secretary of the Interior. Maybe I could get away with it for a while.
Interior, you probably can, because no one's going to check that.
Yeah,
shit.
nobody knows.
No one knows who the Secretary
Come
of the
on,
Interior
we all
is.
got phones. We just go Google.
It's Sally Jewell, currently.
Joke is flawed to begin with. He knew all along.
Again, the thing King Tut is known for, or not known for, but the thing he did in his lifetime that was most celebrated was basically dismantling the cult that his father set up.
To establish like a real religion
Yeah.
that worships
a real religion.
Legitimate
I mean,
Egyptian gods.
So zero-sum game from between his dad and his son. Just like,
yeah, basically.
fucked it up, fixed it.
Horemheb, in particular, made King Tut start the process of destroying all of the likenesses of his father and all the artworks of his father. What's interesting about this to me is that Akhenaten is the only pharaoh to have made art of him, like, hugging his family and, like, playing with his kids. And Horemheb made Tutankhamun destroy that artwork.
I'm picturing this guy now as a real, like, Kylo Ren character, contemporary references.
So based on the documented history, was he that guy though, or was it like propaganda for future generations?
Well, I mean,
was he the good father, according to your tale?
It's kind of hard to say. He's probably a good father, but maybe not.
Not good enough to not die.
So all of our fathers are terrible.
Well, I mean, mine made it longer than 10. Leaving him to be raised by Horemheb or whatever his name is.
Horemheb.
I have it written down as Horemheb.
Sure.
Close enough.
People know who we're talking about. There's not that many characters.
And Tutankhamun is beset by ailments. He's a skinny kid, very lanky. He's got large front teeth, an overbite. He's got a cleft palate. He had malaria basically once a year for most of his life. And he walked with a cane until his death at age 19. And his death is still, no one knows exactly what caused it because there's evidence that's like any number of things.
So it's not that he was like the malaria equivalent of Grizzly Man. That couldn't have been.
Exactly.
Maybe.
The malaria equivalent of, what is that?
Well, he went with the Bears every year. He went to go live with the Bears for a few months.
He went to live with malaria.
Yeah, he was like, oh, it's malaria season.
And of course, Werner Herzog is telling people not to watch.
Maybe he invented malaria.
He invented malaria. It was a fashion.
I was going to say I would totally watch a Werner Herzog narrating the life of Tutankhamun thing, but let's be honest, I watch Werner Herzog narrating anything.
Yeah. You watch Werner Herzog like reading the ingredients list on, I think of Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah, exactly. American Dream.
Some of the leading candidates for the cause of death for Tutankhamun are he broke his leg and it became infected, malaria, something called Kohler disease, which just rots your skeleton from the inside.
Pussy.
Too
Yeah.
much pussy. Not enough pussy.
Oh, I thought you were saying he was a pussy for dying from that disease that rots your skeleton out.
I mean, prove me wrong. He had epilepsy, so there's some theories that he had a seizure, which caused him to fall, which caused him to die and also have a broken leg. Any number of congenital defects as a result of incest.
Results of the fall. Result number 1, death. Result number 2, broken leg.
Yeah, exactly. Chariot accident. And then after he died, there's evidence that his body spontaneously combusted while it was mummified. So it's not even a question of like how he died. It's just like everything.
Yeah.
Basically. Like,
basically, cause of death, they just checked all.
Yeah. It's basically like.
Sounds like some complicated drugs he was doing.
I don't. Does it?
Some insane side effects on those ancient Egyptian drugs.
Yeah, that's why they had all those crazy wrong gods. Really, all we know about his death is that he died pretty quickly because there's evidence that the paint didn't even have a chance to dry in his tomb before he was buried in it. And after he died, his widow wrote to the king of the Hittite Empire, was like, hey, can I marry one of your kids? And then he was like, no. And then Tut's advisor, A, swooped in and married her so he could become pharaoh, despite the fact that Horemheb had everyone convinced that he was the crown prince and successor. And by all evidence, he was.
Well, that's why A's... Who's going to marry Horemheb when A's sitting right there?
Right, exactly. It's, again, Ron Howard and... Who played Fonzie?
Henry Winkler?
Henry Winkler, thank you. I almost said Harvey Keitel.
Very different person.
Completely different. And eventually A dies, and Horemheb becomes pharaoh, and he starts reforming a lot of the things that Akhenaten did, and finishing the work that he made Tutankhamun start. But one of the biggest things Horemheb did is he named Ramses the first.
Because I'm guessing while A was pharaoh, I'm guessing it was just like a huge party.
Mainly, yeah, it was mainly just fucking.
Yeah, everybody got nice and drunk, hit jukeboxes all over Egypt.
Yeah, invented jukeboxes.
Just to hit them. And sharks. Invented sharks, I mean.
Invented sharks.
Just to jump over them.
Oh, okay.
On skis, which already existed, but they invented the sharks.
Right. It's out of necessity.
Yeah.
When you miss the first part of that, there's no jumping in.
They just say...
I'm just jumping over nothing. This is not as exciting as it should be. Why don't I invent a murder fish? But yeah, Tut is notable for being basically in the right place at the right time because he becomes pharaoh.
That place being a place where you can get malaria and bone-eating disease?
Yes. Touche. The right place for, being famous.
How long would he have made it if he wasn't the pharaoh?
Probably not that long, because he just would have been like an Egyptian peasant.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that was a good life. But I have no evidence for that. Maybe he'd still be with us today.
Maybe he's part of the 1%.
No, that's why they... No! Throw him back to 1%! My classic joke!
Classic!
I have been complimented on that joke by multiple people.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I won't even make you cite that. I do like that joke. It both delights and angers me at the same time, like all good humor should. But he mainly just died rich, and he was pharaoh right before Egypt kind of reached its peak under Ramses II and Seti I. So he's really famous just because he's the only pharaoh whose tomb has been found intact. And so when that went on tour, everyone got to know King Tut and identify him as like, oh, okay, when you think of a pharaoh, you think of him, even though he was just like a 19-year-old cripple with malaria who didn't do shit.
Yeah, and Steve Martin kicked him into the stratosphere.
We did establish in the Cleopatra episode that anytime you write a song about someone, up to a certain point, they become immortal.
However, the magic has gone out of the world.
The magic went out of the world probably before Steve Martin wrote or performed the King Tut song.
Probably before that,
with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yes.
I learned a King Tut rap when I was in elementary school.
Really?
Oh, is this your alternate history? Just a King Tut rap?
Is it going to be? Because that would be amazing.
Uninterrupted 15-minute rap about King Tut.
There was just like two lines. It was like King Tut, the ruler of the land. King Tut, King Tut. He was so divine. This
is not a rap.
I mean, I don't know. Let's get Kanye on the phone because I think I smell money right now.
There were other lines that made these two other lines wrong.
Yeah. Call someone else.
It's your cousin, Zach West. You look at that hot new sound you've been looking for? As though they wouldn't get it when I said, hey, Kanye on the phone. I would have to establish the last name, too.
We learned that during our pyramids, section of education.
Pyramid section of education.
Not Egyptian pyramids. You just watch the game show Pyramid, and they happen to have.
Would say it. The other famous thing about Tut, and this sort of edges over into the mythical, is that his tomb was cursed and that Howard Carter and the whole team that opened it died an early death, which is just like...
That seems like it's probably what made him more famous.
Than anything.
Because that probably happened before we were born.
But I mean, most studies have shown that
the
people who actually went into the tomb died basically at the same average age as the people who didn't. So that's kind of shot. The other interesting thing is that when he was...
By the people you didn't, you mean just the rest of the majority of the people alive in the world.
Essentially, I think.
Okay.
If I'm misreading that study, I apologize.
What are they just using the third world numbers? I mean, come on, that's not gonna.
That's true.
It's gonna skew this.
I mean, maybe the whole third.
They were
world
old
is
men before they even got there.
That one.
He got so many mummy graves. They're all cursed.
They had that one census where they either had to tick went into King Tut's tomb or didn't go into King Tut's tomb.
That's how you order the world. The haves and the have-nots. Mm-hmm. During his lifetime, mainly because he restored the old gods. He was one of the only pharaohs who was worshipped while he was alive. And people would specifically pray to him to cure diseases.
Ooh, wrong guy.
Given that he had all of the diseases.
Maybe they thought he had
maybe
taken
he took them,
away.
Oh my god.
Like the Green Mile.
It's exactly like the Green Mile. Why did we not think of this before? And just to clarify a few things that we have established in previous histories, we can probably confirm that since his mummy is still intact, it did not take part in the mummy uprising put down by Julius Caesar.
Okay.
And we can maybe suppose that since Cleopatra is immortal, she maybe visits an occasional touring exhibit of Tut's tomb and maybe longs for mortality. So that's...
Yeah, I mean, it's been a few thousand years. Probably ready to go. But she's J-Lo now. She's doing all right.
Oh, yeah, she is J-Lo now. So, J-Lo, maybe if you've gone to an exhibit of King Tut's tombs and felt a twinge in your soul, let us know. RevisionistPodcast.com. And that's...
I think if she hears it, she's already knowing that information.
That's... Well, maybe. Maybe she just hears it in a passing car and tells the driver to stop and...
Rewind. Hit that 15-second bat button, buddy.
Exactly.
Twice! Do it twice! I need some context!
Well,
you know what? Maybe just do the 2 minutes.
Pull over. I'm getting in your car. And that's how she meets her next husband.
That's how she met Mark Anthony.
I believe so. Well, and that's basically the true story of King Tut.
Mm-hmm.
An unremarkable cripple boy.
I mean, that's one way to put it. But there's just no way for us to know so much about this young little gentleman.
What a gentleman.
For us to know more about. See, what really happened was...
So is this just going to be presented in Christopher Walken voice?
Where to start? First of all, he had a father. Seems like...
Yes,
painting these...
So far, the stories match.
He's painting these pictures on the wall that he's like hugging his kids. He's playing kitchen. No, he's starting this cult. But it's this big, powerful... He is the richest man
in Bedford
the
Falls.
Land. Royal blood, you know? So he's a good guy. But he's not. He's fucking propaganding. He's trying to change the history of the world by saying he's his good father, when in fact he has a daughter. Then he sleeps with his daughter. That's why she's referred to as younger lady, because they can't allow that information to get out. They have this bastard boy with a father, I guess. I don't know. And he's got malaria. He's got a cane. He's got all these problems. He's inbred. He's an inbred baby boy.
I mean, you said it like you were implying it, but we basically just stated that out, right?
This is why. So he's got some trouble, right? He's got a pair of these advisors. He's got a fucking little person, you know what I mean?
I don't.
In all the books.
It's like a dwarf.
Oh, so he's like dwarf.
He's like a little person dwarf.
It's like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
And like in all the writings about him, he's this disgusting man. But in all the pictures of him, he's gorgeous. So you know what is the real whatever. So he's giving him good advice, and you got Haramet over there. He's a eunuch. He's got his balls chopped off.
Uh-huh.
He's got ulterior motives. Are they good? Are they bad? He's definitely got spies.
He just wants his balls back.
You got his third advisor, Carcetti.
So these guys, they see this little kid. They're like making plays, but they're making plays for themselves because they know he's gonna die. So you got this midget, you got the eunuch, and then ultimately, what ends up killing this little boy? It's poison. He was poisoned by Littlefinger. Why do you think his corpse suddenly combust? There was
do we need to put a spoiler tag on this episode?
They brought in a torch, right? They don't have electricity, and they bring in this torch. The poison's highly flammable, and it bursts into flames. So that when they wrap him in mummified stuff, the gases are then locked in.
They wrap him in mummy stuff.
So that when these people find him,
I'm just picturing them having
thousands and thousands of years later.
It's like we just moved.
Of course,
they got all this mummy stuff.
They weren't cursed. There's a simple explanation. Some of that poison was released into the air when they cracked his tomb, and they, because it was so old, they didn't die immediately. But why do we care about this?
Lost
little boy?
its potency a little bit.
The reason why this little boy is so famous is because, George R.R. Martin just came and stole the whole fucking story for his little fucking game of
pretty little fucking book. George R.R.
Game of Tutankhamun. What is he doing? He's
I should probably change this title to something less plagiaristic.
How many boy kings were there? One, got it. Boom. Joffrey, stolen. Younger lady, inbred. We got the Lannisters. King, he's making his armies, the richest man in the land.
Is this a rap? Are you rapping? Because you're doing hand gestures like you're rapping.
The ruler of the land, King Tut. King Tut. He was so divine. King Tut. King Tut. So,
he was so divine.
The one thing that,
it's like, hey, Mickey.
He was the first pharaoh worshipped. Why do you think that was? Fear. He killed prostitutes on his spare time. He had an iron fist over that people. And of course they bowed to him. He made them bow with fear.
Uh-huh.
Just out of killing. So he was also Little Jack the Ripper also.
How do you think, why he was so beloved? Because he dismantled his father's cult with fear, power, death,
fear, power,
murder.
Now he's the Scarecrow from Batman.
And so an early grave was welcomed by the people. And that is the story of this King Tutankhamun. I mean, I don't know really what happened to A and Ahmed after after Littlefinger did him in, but, they did whatever he said they did.
I mean, it's all Littlefinger.
Okay.
I mean, that's probably not a spoiler.
So that's why Littlefinger ran Egypt for about 50 years after that?
More or less, I think.
You started really idealistic.
Well, dropping in and out of the accent.
Talking about a new day, but he became disillusioned and more focused on his own political career. Becoming the governor of Maryland.
He fought John Cena for 12 rounds.
The difference is in ancient Egypt time, Littlefinger, he actually had a little finger.
Hence the name.
Which one?
Yeah, he just had one freak finger.
Oh, wait, he only had one finger on both of his hands, and it was a tiny little... like something out of a David Lynch movie. That he made out of a cow fetus.
He made it. He made his own fingers. I mean, that's what we need in a leader. Some sort of determination. Oh, Tim, thank you.
Heir to the throne, hand of the king, potato.
Those are not the same thing.
I mean, they are like potatoes and potatoes.
Yeah.
Shouldn't eat potatoes or potatoes. Even as a vegan. Body has to convert it first into carbohydrates and then sugar. It's a 2-step process. It takes twice the amount of energy.
So Tim is saying, reconsider your diet, Irish people.
I was going to say, these potatoes
of the
are
1800s.
Short sometime. Well, Zach, you are serving in the judging role, or you can throw it to the audience.
Oh, I think it's always more fun. We've been away for so long. The audience, they're itching for that vote. It's like, it's been 2 months since they voted on anything. You can going to vote in the fucking primary? No, this is what they vote on.
Or they think they're going to vote for Marco Rubio? No, they're going to vote for this.
Yeah, exactly. It's like American Idol.
They're going to vote for
which
John
isn't on the air anymore. They got to vote for something. No, I got to throw it to the people for a big return gala for our show. Back in business, 2016.
We did it.
Yeah.
See you in 2017.
Yeah. Last episode, 2016. You have a year to get your votes in.
Man, what a year we had.
No, man, it's cool, man. They got like an annual podcast.
Enjoy our
It's
next
like
episode, which will be a 2016 clip show. Best of 2016.
We just do it every 7 years. It's like the Up series.
There better be a new serial podcast on my phone when I get to my car. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. I know that podcast. I'm familiar with it.
It's supposed to be... They were off. It's supposed to be the 7th.
It is the 7th.
Very contemporary. Look behind the curtain. We're recording this on the 7th.
2014.
BC.
Yes. Serial season 0. Had some trouble with that one.
It's a hard one.
I think I'm going to get a lot of things right about these future episodes you guys do.
Well, listeners, to cast your vote, you can go to revisionistpodcast.com and use the contact form. You can also vote on Facebook or Twitter.
All your social medias.
Or while you're there, you can also leave us a comment or ask us a question.
You can send us an Instagram with your vote written.
On your dick?
Yeah. That'd be the preferable way, yeah.
Yeah, please. In fact, text me. Text me a picture of your dick with your vote written on it. And then...
We'll put it up on the site.
You can also review this podcast on iTunes.
Yeah, do that.
That's very helpful to us. Before we go, Tim, Again, great to have you, and you've always been one of my favorite stand-ups in Denver, and I'm sorry to see you go.
Oh, thank you very much.
But I wish you best of luck in London, and listeners, if you want to see him, you're doing shows up until the last week of January.
I'm doing a bunch of shows starting on January 22nd through the 30th in Denver. I'll have those dates up at messengertim.com, but a bunch of fun stuff like the Soiled Dove and Crush City and Too Much Fun and Highlands Comedy Show.
Like all great shows.
The Brunch Show, Voodoo Comedy Playhouse with the agency. So a lot of cool shows.
Or, fly to London.
Yeah, go to London.
Not yet. Wait until he's there, probably.
February 4th.
Meet him at the airport.
February 4th, I'll be at the Backyard Comedy Club. I'll be there on Valentine's Day as well. And then I'll be at this place in the garden on the 19th.
More info at messengertim.com.
Zach, you are co-host on another podcast, Stage of Fools.
That's right, yeah.
About
E's first scripted drama, The Royals, which is loosely based on Hamlet.
Very loosely,
from what you understand. It is a very classy show by all accounts.
And I will probably be guesting on that pretty soon.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that. For everyone here at The Revisionist, I'm Brian Flynn.
I am Zach Powers.
Thanks for having me. I'm Tim.
Have a good night.